Come on, slow egg. I'm right on time. I'm right on time. I was just picking a piece of music to play. That's why I was a couple minutes later than normal, that's all. Okay. Rogue Legacy 2, Scars. When I played that, there wasn't much to it. It was very early access. I still remember when the first Rogue Legacy came out, I got it as soon as I could. And I pounded through it. And I got to the end at a point where the final fight was bugged and you could beat the final fight and like fall through the floor or some shit and just be stuck forever. I was so fucking tilted by that. But I had a lot of fun with the original. I don't remember if I liked the sequel very much, but like I said, I played it very early in its early access development, whatever. Ladies and gents, I'm back again. We were just gonna do some weird, like, what should I say? I think it's some weird VTuber drama. Something to do with the fake femcel. But plans have changed slightly, at least for the start of the stream. We're not going to look at the bottom of the barrel drama, to which the title of the stream is a reference. We're going to look at Ethan Klein's response to the iDubbbz content cop. And we're going to look at that when I didn't really care enough to look previously, because Twitter popped up a little trend summary for me. And I didn't spoil things for myself, but the trend summary was Ethan Klein of H3 sent human skulls. So I decided we'll actually be looking at that after all, and we'll be looking at that first, because I have to know. I presume it's gonna be in his response to iDubbbz. I presume. Or must I copy what Chud does? Because Chud has good taste in drama. Right? I've said this before. If I don't know what to do for drama, I will look to what Chud is doing. He's like a drama master. Can't stay long and it'll be a long tree. It might not be that long. I mean, yesterday was super short because I went and got Chinese. Oh, fuck, dude. I had the master plan. We're going to be lazy. We're not going to cook anything. We're going to get Chinese. Turns out, the entire fucking city had that idea and chose the same, and like chose my preferred takeaway. So, I got off the stream. We ordered. If you want spoilers, I got a salt and chili munchie box. Surprise, surprise. Got a salt and chili munchie box. Lucky Bee had, some Yang Chow. That's not racist, that's how she says it. Yang Chow fried rice. Curry sauce, spring rolls. Called them, asked for it. They're like, they never ask my name. They never normally ask for a name. Warning sign number 1. We tried to call, and it just rang and rang and rang. I hung up. I tried to call line busy. Tried to call, it rang and rang and rang. Eventually they picked up. After I made my order, they asked for my name. They never do that. They are never busy enough that they need to ask for names. Warning sign 2. Warning sign 3, when I said, alright, see you in half an hour. Well, warning sign 3! Alright? Warning sign 3. She says, it'll be ready in about half an hour. Normally an order like that is, it'll be ready in 15 to 20 minutes. Warning sign 4, when I said, alright, bye, see you in half an hour. She goes, bye, bye, and then starts screaming. Like before hanging up. We still, like, I'd already ordered it. So, did I eat that whole spicy box myself? Half last night, half this morning. I go, and Winter 1205, thank you for the membership.
Winter 1205 has become a member. Damn, got me wanting to order Chinese for lunch now.
Do it, brother. If you got the funds and you have a good takeaway available, why not? If they're open, my shit, all in where I live, opens at 5. It's 5. Never mind. Well, where I am. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're also in the UK and having a late lunch. Has anyone contacted me privately about the JebCon stuff? No, they have not. the totally real Jeb Bushcon held in Germany that I was at and raped multiple people at. So, we wait half an hour. I go to get the Chinese order, and go in there, and it is full of people. Normally, at most, there will be one other person there. It was full. The 2 benches they have were covered in people, and there were people standing up. I go up to the desk, and I say, hey, order for Tim. And he goes, okay. Goes into the kitchen. There's a screaming back and forth. The guy... Another warning sign. Normally, it's the lady. Her son was on the desk. Shit is apocalyptic. He comes out and says, it will be 5 minutes. So I sit there for another 25 minutes before I get my food. And and during that time, there was a man on the other end of the bench blasting political YouTubers on his phone. Talking about the size of South America and how the reason the US is in such a good position is because of the spread of Christianity and whatever. Out loud, yes, blasting it. Not only that, but he got 3 or 4 separate phone calls that he answered on speakerphone, holding out in front of him. And he yelled about how he was getting I am quoting this individual, I do not refer to getting Chinese food like this. He yelled this out. He said, I am just getting a Chinkies. His final phone call was someone saying that they might want prawn crackers, but he was worried for them. He was considering asking for some more food, for some prawn crackers to be added. So he goes up and starts a conversation with the young man at the desk, and he says, hey mate, is your prawn crackers made with real prawns, or is it flavorings? The young man behind it, how did you guess he was black, Yumo? He's the young man ostensibly had no fucking clue what he was talking about. Was very confused. Eventually goes into the kitchen. There's a bunch of screaming, and he brings out the package that the prawn crackers come in, the box with the ingredients, and he says, I don't know what you mean, but you can look at the ingredients. The guy looks at the package, tries to read it, points to words and says to him, what's this? He said, and then he points to one of them and goes, is this that? He points at a word, then points at a picture of a prawn on the packaging. He goes, what's that? Is that the fish? Yeah, he says. The young man just says, yeah. He goes, okay. And then he leaves. Shortly after that, I got my order. And I couldn't understand what they were saying because they were yelling. They were going like, order for tin! Order for tin! I was saying, Tim? And they went, ding! And I said, Tim? Is this for me? And they turn around like the order sheet. And it did indeed say tin. Tin. I said, yeah, that's me with the munchie box. And they went, yes. And I took my food. So yeah, that was what I ended the stream early for. It's very tasty though. Mine was radioactive hot. Some of Lucky Bee's was radioactive hot. I have to imagine they did not even start cooking it until after I arrived, after waiting half an hour. But Lucky Bee's spring rolls were like room temp or below. So they'd clearly done the spring rolls and then had to do other stuff and then done the rest of it. So, yeah. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, that's about it. I had a Toblerone egg for Easter. It's called the Edgy Egg. It's called the Edgy Egg. It's pretty good. Higher ratio of chocolate to nougat. But that's fine because I like the chocolate, and the walls of this egg were very thick. Very nice. Very nice. If you like the Toblerone chocolate and don't mind there being a bit less nougat, it's a good Easter egg. Also, the Toblerone egg also came with some Toblerone truffles. I don't rate those. Those aren't very good. Anyway, I'm going to look at the Ethan Klein response. This is not the bottom of the barrel drama. I believe this counts as top shelf drama, which is still like bottom of the content barrel, but hey, something for you. As I said previously, I'm looking at this because of the Twitter trend that was simply Ethan Klein receives human skulls. Does Tim know what a Snickers is? I have two of them downstairs. I have a protein Snickers and I have a protein peanut Snickers. Downstairs, I bought them today. How about that? Had a Yorkie Easter egg. I've got a Yorkie limited edition, like, brownie bar downstairs. If there's limited edition snack or chocolate shit, I just buy it. I don't ask questions, I just buy it. I've got a Fanta Tutti Frutti in the fridge. If it's limited edition, I just fucking buy it. I don't ask... Don't ask questions. Alright. Ethan's response to iDubbbz. Apparently human remains are involved. Let's go.
A few days ago, my good friend Ian, also known as iDubbbz, released a content
Is he going to come out as a lesbian in this video?
About me. His video's over an hour long and it's full of a lot of accusations. We watched the entire video, every frame of it, responded to every accusation on the podcast in a really long episode. We watched the whole thing, so if you're interested in a more thorough response...
I presume this is his... Like, probably went out of his way to watch the whole thing live, to be like, now you watch mine, Hassan! Watch it live! It's not happening, is it? There's no way.
To everything, I would recommend watching this episode. The video that I'm making today, however, I don't need an hour for, because there's really just one central point that I want to make here.
All right.
My good friend Ian...
Just call iDubbbz a cuck. By the way, like, just call iDubbbz a cuck and you win. By the way. They're scared. They're scared to grasp at that power, but you can.
In his hour-long...
Armel! Fucking exactly! Armel, yes!
Takedown did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time in the entire...
He did not directly state it, no. The closest we got is that a thumbnail was featured with quote call CPS in the thumbnail that he showed. I was listening out for it specifically, never directly addressed. What iDubbbz did do is paint this as all apropos of nothing. Ethan's wilding out for like no fucking reason. For some reason he's really mad at Denims. Come on.
Video, he never says CPS. No mention, no explanation, no overview, nothing. Zero mentions of CPS. A few weeks ago, Child Protective Services showed up to our house at 6 a.m. to interrogate us.
This video does make it seem like it was a bad move on Ian's part. But only if enough people see this, I guess.
Anonymous tip.
When you might say, oh, 608,000 views. I'm talking about, like, compared to watching Ian.
They got that our kids were crawling around and eating dog shit at catching diseases. Ian spends the majority of his video characterizing me like a raving lunatic who's lashing out at everyone around me with...
I'd agree with that characterization.
Zero provocation.
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
What he doesn't say is the majority of these clips he's using are taken from this episode. Now, does he ever show the title of this episode.
Oh.
No, he does not ever show the title of this episode. Snark called Child Protective Services on us. Not only does he not show the title, he doesn't explain why I'm upset, who I'm mad at, why I'm mad at them. Zero context. I am just an anonymous screaming.
Did he get to the human skulls part of the video? No. Hearing human skulls are involved is why I'm bothering to watch this.
Lunatic.
It's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years. And as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your, like, this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible.
That was funny to me for another reason. Because it's what the iDubbbz video is. Yeah, both those things are, but
This is not
probably a better point for Ethan to make to get people on side that, yeah, it was. People were fucking with my kids. You got a problem?
not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach us to say, like,
Also, indeed, I've seen iDubbbz's podcast.
yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack.
In this episode, the same day that CPS came to my home, I was understandably irate. This was a provocation that I had not.
I don't like people characterizing themselves as and their reactions as understandable explicitly. That annoys me.
Experienced. It went into my real world.
That's you rating yourself. I agree it's understandable. Just, bro, please don't.
Was affecting my children and my life in a way that I found extremely disturbing and an escalation that I
A matter of taste.
found very unacceptable. Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here. Denims is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what Denim said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God
I believe people were complaining about this chat on the left. Yes?
forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it
But is this not from the stream?
with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all
Is
over
this
his
true?
house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week
Hold up.
Dude, how is it that like maybe one
So, the top right chat features the messages that are in the left. The left is just a highlight reel of stuff that's in the live chat, right? To emphasize.
once a week I look into what
I saw people complaining about this on my timeline, but I
Ethan
don't...
Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting
We
Giardia.
already have mold Mondays. Now we have shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay.
It's fine, Denims. The kids won't remember having it.
No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing.
No wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is this happening? How is this happening? Yeah, I mean, I don't even make fun of people's weight. I've never made fun of people's weight. I do make fun of people's posture. If you're
Okay.
making an active decision that, like, you don't give a fuck about your health,
Why is this clip here? This clip I don't care about. The kid stuff. The kid stuff. The kid stuff.
or your posture, or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are
Okay.
getting giardia,
All right.
that's the image of someone who is not well. Wait, what? Wait, what, Dams? Wait, what? You guys didn't know about this? Yeah. Meth Zempic diet. Oh, God.
Even after CPS
Yeah, it's
was
an
called,
insult.
Denims attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
I want you to
This is the wild shit. This is the shit where on its own, without any other context, is like, oh fuck.
create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
I forgot the part where it also includes, yeah, it's fine. They're only if the 5-year-old is traumatized, they're only going to be traumatized until they're 15, and then they won't be able to recall those memories.
You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
If you're wondering who the guy is, she's
Yeah, 1 or 2 memories, especially if one of them is the strange men coming to ask if dad's raping you or something.
watching. His name is Bad Empanada. And as far as harassment campaigns go, you'd think that Ian, as someone who cares so deeply about it, would be talking about him and not me. Here's a small taste.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is a slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter. Anyways, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean, is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking...
I've played that game. Apparently, I can't play it anymore. Apparently, it's not available in the UK anymore. So I got in under the wire.
Zempic binge? They don't understand what's going on around them.
$2 Superberry. She talks, looks and thinks like a turtle.
One sick thing about that game is the top rank. If you perfectly stealth kill everyone, I think is how you get the top rank. The top achievo, the top reward is being labeled terrorist, a real terrorist.
They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
Here's Bad Empanada once again, who posted a story saying, I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger.
I wouldn't necessarily believe him. I would not be surprised if that were true. I simultaneously would not be surprised if he's just saying it was. Kind of like when terror groups take responsibility for attacks. When there's some shit gets blown up and they're all like, yeah, we did it.
Today was pretty bad, wasn't it? Really sucked for you. You were so disappointed. The betrayal of one of your closest long-term friends.
Wake
huh?
up, Ethan.
Tick-tock, though, Ethan. Tick-tock, because this was just a taste. This was just a small part of what
It is pretty good. I like this segment. I like this segment.
Worse. It's only gonna get worse, Mr. Klein.
Wake up and smell the ashes.
Every day, sit there just waiting in misery, in fear, of what we have in store for you. Tick-tock goes the clock.
Maybe if he stops harassing other creators.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace.
I've been thinking about this a bit, and it's not necessarily directly connected to what's going on in the video right now, but does Ian understand how fucking seriously people take these things? Does he think Israel-Palestine is just like a meme? Does he understand that people on either side want each other to die?
House is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like
Neko, spitting truth for once.
Contact with it with their hands or something.
I was particularly angry during this episode entitled Snark Called CPS on Us, because I hold denims to be one of the primary reasons, in my opinion, why CPS was called. Another one of their friends, Froggy Tonic, had been spreading the same malicious rumor about me on Twitter for days before CPS was called as well.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was
$2 Superberry.
Back
This feels like a
room.
backroom horror.
He's in the paused rooms. Best I can do off the dome.
in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Eli.
It did go through my mind, Shareds, but I like having accounts.
The C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted. Me when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen me in the past 4 months. I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Ethan was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be.
Problems with this part. iDubbbz didn't necessarily see these as they occurred. Additionally, seems in line with the examples.
As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is, it's all a lie. It's all wrong. The man is talking about my children.
I fed my dog, Manchego.
Painting me as a terrible parent, a neglectful parent, and saying that he's, whose claim to fame as being iDubbbz's friend and former editor, is spreading malicious, damaging rumors about me that led to the CPS being called. Which, by the way, Ian does not
Sure, but maybe be a bit more precise. The very same rumors that, having spread so far, obviously pushed someone to do this.
Explain one time.
Or gave someone an excuse to do it. Made them feel empowered. It's a nitpick, but this could be taken and used to be like, he's saying it was specifically Froggy Tonic.
He did not mention why I'm angry at Froggy Tonic. He did not mention why I'm angry at denims. He did not mention the name of the episode. He did not mention what the episode was about.
Very, very insane.
He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
His forget-it job says, all I heard was you fed your dog, man.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Ela the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now, why does this matter? Because Anissa was yucking it up with these guys during the period in which they were spreading this rumor and when the CPS call was made. The CPS call is central to understand.
You can give your dog a little bit of cheese. Especially like, I don't know, man. When I had dogs, if they needed like worming tablets, you'd get like a little piece of cheese and put the tablet into the little piece of cheese. And they'd go, Like, not a lot. Like, literally like a pea-sized shape, just enough to put a pill in.
Understanding this story. You cannot tell this story without that context. And to try to tell this story without including that detail, it would be the most bad faith, cruel, gaslighting hit piece of all time. Unfortunately,
People feeding the dog raw chicken, that's pretty normal. All the pet stores sell raw meat. We feed our cat exclusively raw meat.
that's exactly what he did. He convinced his audience that the reason that I'm mad, that I'm lashing out, simply because I'm a raving lunatic. I am crashing out. I'm just crazy and harassing his friends for no reason. And by the way, to my good friend Ian of 8 years.
Yeah, raw meat cat diet. It keeps her fur really plush. It's why she looks like she's been fucking upholstered or some shit. Her fur is real nice. Shame she'll never ever let me pet her. Well, she does nowadays. She's chilled out a bit, but...
really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial, weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
Someone who I've confided in over the years with my struggles with it, who understands what I've been through, the lengths that I've gone to work on myself and improve my mental condition. For him to throw that in my face, to characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing. One ridiculous point he keeps hammering on is that I'm hating on him, I'm harassing him, simply because he's following people on Twitter.
We're not gonna run to your defense when, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I, is when we're on Twitter, we do...
She did a little bit more than following.
Be following.
I'm not upset, Ian, because you follow people.
Yeah.
That is absurd. I'm mad because you are actively engaging with these people on social media, in DMs, while this harassment is happening, seemingly indifferent to it, silent on it. In a sense, I felt like you were more on their side than my side.
Our silence means something. It means...
A lot of the claims... or a lot of the things these people said that were brought up, Ian seems to go out of his way to be like, ooh, I don't have to speak out against that, without ever saying he doesn't agree, or even implying he doesn't agree. I remember towards the end of the Content Cop, there was a lot of stuff where it was like, it was begging the question, do you even disagree though? Like he's pretending like the reason he's not talking up is, he just want to keep things neutral, doesn't want to say anything. Is that really why, or do you just agree?
Means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Our silence means something. That's exactly what we felt. Wow, it's almost like we were right about you. There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home. Which
the identity of the skull losers,
which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does. Ian had a recent
Are they legit, actual, true human skulls?
Revelation. He's transcended into a new person. He's achieved nirvana and discovered empathy at age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that.
He's posted them on Insta, just blurred. So it's just blurred for YouTube.
It sounds really pathetic.
Let me check that out. Because I question it, I'll look up. Do I want H3 Instagram? Or Ethan's, I guess. Just Ethan's. I'm not much of an Instagrammer. Do I want like Ethan H3? Ethan Klein? Typed in Ethan Clan. Or there's also H3 podcast. I'm so fucking bad at Instagram. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Holy shit. Does it really matter whether they're fake or real? So in terms of it being threatening, I guess it's pretty threatening either way, but I'm just morbidly curious.
To say at the age of 32, I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just like can't help myself but like feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up, potentially, but it's at least there.
In the spirit of his newfound enlightenment, he had this to say.
I have made some cruel...
The ad fed the streamer a $2 superberry. Amazing point. Ian became even more of an asshole.
Hurtful content, and
which would be fine if he was a funny asshole.
I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for...
He's learned not to signal those things.
When will Tim learn empathy?
But to be much worse through omission rather than explicit statements. Great. Thank you very much.
Very lackluster reasons, and obviously didn't have any...
He's merely learned to be subversive.
Accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
The Sabra segment was so fucking bad as well.
It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not.
What happened? Am I so uniquely evil that you're willing to abandon your newfound principles after what less...
Look, I've heard that Ian has styled himself after hanging out with all the Free Palestine streamers. For some reason, they gave him the idea to, like, Ian just calls himself the Goblin Slayer. He says, don't call me Ian, don't call me iDubbbz, Goblin Slayer, Goblin Slayer. And like he said, in his eyes, you're just a goblin, begging for sympathy. And you know what? The Goblin Slayer thinks of goblins.
Than a year? What is it that I've done, Ian, that makes me more detestable than any of the other people that you've content copped? And for what did you do this? To revitalize your dying career? This entire video reeks of desperation.
Those are me numbers! Shit!
Of being thrown together and poorly researched. I don't really even understand why they did this.
It wasn't. He's being way too fucking charitable. That was not a poorly researched video. Okay? He knew what he was leaving out. You're being too nice now.
And I can't imagine that it's going to be worth it. Thanks for the 8 years of friendship, buddy. Have fun with your new friends.
They're ideal, though. Like that black guy posted a video explaining he didn't think he could say no to Ian. When he had to say something nice about Ethan, he didn't understand that he could say no, but... Of course you can. You're an adult. You can say fucking no to anything. Ian demonstrated the horrible relationship he has with his friends through that. Right? In a video about how deranged Ethan is and he doesn't understand, it's demonstrated how fucked Ian is. Right? Anyway, I didn't plan on looking at that, but I heard about the skulls. I feel the skull segment was less hype than I'd hoped for, but there were skulls. No false advertising. Wonderful. 1,000 Degree Wife. Da da da. Whatever. Boring. 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 Boring comments. It's time for something that might be really boring. I was told not to spoil it for myself. I was told this will be good. We have a PDF. As in a literal PDF file. As in, sorry, Zoomers and YouTube word filter dodging has ruined everything. I have a document. A document. This document will, I believe, contain some accusations. This is the bottom of the barrel drama I was talking about. I was told it starts getting really good with screenshots and stuff. I was told it starts getting really, really good. I saw a little bit of Twitter talk about this, and there are accusations of someone being a fake incel. Let's dive in. I haven't seen shit about this. Let's dive in. Let's find out what's going on, because I'm going to have to do some reading. I did not anticipate. Don't give me money now, you motherfucker.
Sir Paladin Thundercake fed the streamer a $5 superberry. Ian, Hassan, Denims and Frog are united as one. Avengers assemble to the next Davos meeting.
The problem is, like, that's not how making a Megazord works. You have to all clip together. Instead, they just all went inside of Frogan. Anyway. I did not anticipate needing to put together this document. I had hopes that this was something that could be kept out of the public eye and handled privately. The true nature of the situation made that seem impossible, but until recently, that was still an option on the table, however unlikely it may have been. But circumstances have changed. Elfin Psyop's public statement, which I don't have, we could look at if it seems important. I was told just to look at this. Public statement effectively amounted to slander. So, this has shifted from being a preemptive warning intended to be released in tandem with my exit to a response. You can take it as you will, and I will be done with all of this regardless. Let me be clear. I like this community. I like what has been built up over the last year. It was genuinely enjoyable. As such, it would be an injustice to you all if this were not brought to public attention. Some of you are friends, some peers, and some of you are people that I outright despise. But you are all fans of... but you are all fans or viewers of Elfin Psyop, like I have been. And therefore all of you deserve to know of how malicious she can be. Pretty amazing start. Alright. Initially, this document sought to provide evidence of how Elfin Psyop manipulated her fans and the people around her for her own sexual gratification. What being a streamer is, come on. For her own sexual gratification. And after the fact, accused them of manipulating her, excommunicating them, and ruining their reputations in private circles. Like I said, if this can happen to you, I feel that you shouldn't be in such a situation. That's my take on stuff online. Like I said, it was meant to be a warning to her close fans, veteran agents, so that they did not find themselves in the same situation many other men had. After her accusations towards me, I have shifted gears. I have the stream. We may watch it after this, we may watch it before we finish, we may watch it tomorrow. I don't know. This document outlines a clear timeline of events starting from March 15th, 2024, when I watched my first stream. It will provide proof of the topics being spoken of, and only mention usernames that are pertinent to the issue at hand. It will attempt to both exonerate me and prevent fans from being the object of Elfin Psyop's impulses. If it's like an anime girl VTuber, they probably are aiming for this to happen. So far is what I... Let's find out what she did, though. If you can be manipulated, don't be manipulated. Wise egg. Don't get into a situation where you're in, like, fucking tons of weird overlapping private circles with freaks online and cooming with them. Some fucking weird cloak and dagger shit. Just don't be there. Just stay in the Twitch chat. Whatever. This outline will not contain any sort of doxing information. No photos, no real names. That's boring. No real names, no addresses or locations. How will I kill everyone involved if I don't have that? That is not the intended purpose. I do not intend to tell you how to feel, or what you should do. Despite everything that has happened and how it may seem, I am not intentionally trying to sabotage Alphen Saab's career. I'm just doing this in retaliation for her shit-talking me. However, this document will be from my perspective. That is unavoidable. To the point, Alphen Psyop over the course of the last year has been coming on to members of her audience, sending them explicit pictures of herself, as well as engaging in flirtatious messaging and sexting. That's like the dream for a VTube viewer, right? That's the dream. In these relationships, like adults, they're saying she has manipulated men, not kids, men. She has manipulated men against each other. Sound like they're retarded. They're watching a streamer. So sorry, I keep dropping my sauce. I keep dropping my rare Minecraft sauce, and lied to several people close to her to paint herself in a positive light. She dropped these men after she was done with them. She didn't marry them, man! And then accused them of taking advantage of her to avoid admitting that she was in a consensual sexual relationship so as not to sabotage her streaming career. Yeah, seems likely. Seems you appear to be describing them as doing exactly what I'd expect. Okay. There are 6 confirmed instances. However, the full list could be significantly larger. Those 6 include myself, Marek, Shovelbreath, Lauchlan, Captcha, and Sako. Chapter 1. Meeting and Marek. Here I will describe my relationship with Alphen Psyop to exonerate myself from Alphen's accusations of me attempting to groom her, as well as describe the first instance of Alphen's pattern of behaviors I mentioned within the introduction. Is the twist going to be that Alphen's underage? I don't know. It's already pretty funny, but Idle Bandit on March 15th asked me to jokingly save a VTuber, Alphen Psyop. Save an indie, okay. The server was created on March 16th, I joined the next day. March 25th. In between my joining and the 25th, Alphen had made a marshmallow. Oh, it's one of those like ask box things, right? For people to anonymously message. I sent 2 generally supportive messages by then, but she had not checked her inbox despite other people reminding her to do so. Oh my god. She wasted your time. Until this interaction. Good boy. What the fuck, he gets this for not killing something? Read your marshmallows. Gotcha. I told her to read her marshmallows, and she refused. After reading them, she would later send me a DM expressing her appreciation. Hey, Average Bird Enjoyer, I'm really so happy I have supporters like you. I read your marrows, and you have no idea how happy I felt. I've never had... You're getting the... Yes, this is like a product. You're receiving... What you received in that message was like a product. After my response, she would also go on to say the following. Don't take this the wrong way, but you're really like a dad. I really appreciate you caring for me this much. I love getting head pats and affection so much. Thank you. It's practically bot level pandering internet girl. Happy to provide. Hope you have a great day. As you can see, the initial interactions were relatively wholesome. You're like a dad to me? Or you're like a dad from an e-girl? Come on. Fucking come on. March 30th. This would be the first time we called in DMs. It was me trying to get her to order some food while she was drunk. I'm ready. They called for 3 hours. Yeah, boy, you're a mark. You're very blatantly a mark. No matter how many e-girls are taken down, you will always be a mark. There will always be a... If it wasn't Elfin, it would be someone else. But leading up to that will be the first hints of the eventual problem. Will I burr a good girl if I did that? I love you too. Wait till you're sobered up to say that. I love you, love you, love you. Admittedly, I was enabling this type of behavior by saying what she wanted to hear. I have bad fucking news, Bird Enjoyer. That she was a good girl, that I loved her, etc. I did not think much of it at the time, because I did not go into the conversation with any intentions aside from wanting to help. To me, it was casual. And considering the drunken sad posting that was commonplace back then, I felt that it was apt. I see so many people living with their parents and they're so happy, and I have to live alone and eat shitty food, because my parents hate me. Cunts, stupid dickheads. Hey, nice. The next day would establish the recurring pattern of Elfin not remembering events or topics from the night prior, and me offering to summarize. I want to reread stuff now you're sober, eat your food, drink water. I was extremely cringe last night, I'm sorry. I could definitely tell you were just being a clingy drunk, but thought I'd remind you anyway. Obligatory, I won't leak anything or otherwise be a shitter, so don't worry about that. You were hoping she'd say, "No, Average Bird Enjoyer, I really mean it. I love you from the depths of my heart. You are my true love." That's what you were hoping for. Trust you enough. Thank you for everything. I love you so much. Love you too. This was 15 days in to watching someone stream. Why aren't you guys saying that to me? Why aren't you guys saying that to me? What the fuck? 15 days? Another example. Bird. I don't remember combo from this morning. What did I say? From before I went to work? April 1st. We would call pretty regularly, either with her instigating or me suggesting, and she'd usually be noticeably drunk. Average Burb, can I call you? I don't want you to be disappointed in me. Do you want to talk about it? Yes. The notable moment from this day was a call where she was supposedly sober. Alright, 209 minutes. I distinctly remember La La Land. I mean, you have a screen cap, so I'd hope you'd remember. In this call, I remember Elfin asking me some pretty heavy questions. Have you ever dated? What's your take on relationships? Do you like giving your girlfriend lots of money with no strings attached? What do you want out of this? That last one specifically was something that stuck out to me as strange, and I answered very responsibly that you were talking to an e-girl like this 15 days into having started watching their stream suggests to me you are not a very responsible or normal individual. In fact, I said something to the affect of, by the way, it doesn't matter what I want. I'd rather not taint this good deed that I'm trying to do. Holy fuck. This is when things escalated. I do not remember the exact date, and I'm not going to post the images, but at some point during this time frame, Elfin, while drunk in call, sent me explicit messages of herself, completely unprompted. The closest thing to nudes one could imagine? Did she have an M&M on each nipple? What? You're now making me imagine a lot of particular possible scenarios. I remember telling her the following day and asking her if she wanted me to delete them, to which she said yes. All of those messages have since been deleted. I did save the images in case I ever needed proof of this happening. You can... Why did you ask? I asked her if she wanted me to delete them. She said yes. I kept them. And you were holding on to them with the plan of potentially leaking intimate images of someone. Yeah, I saved them with the intention of possibly sharing them later. You're raped, brother. You're done. If she comes after you, it's finished. And I'm aware she has a 1 hour and a half or so stream about this. But clearly I ended up being right in that decision. Those files are all dated April 6th. I would not be surprised if it occurred earlier, though, since leading up to the 6th there was some very blatant instances of Elfin the horny posting. The e-girl is horny posting! Bird wants to sex with me. I want. Wav, I'm not going to say that. Do you like my thighs? I think everyone should guck themselves. It doesn't matter. I judge wundersbar live alone. No one matters. No one natters, you know. I lied to McDonald's a lot. To thank you for the meal, Dad. You were so nice. Your voice is hot. Can I send you my boobs? Did you say anything else in response to that? Did you say anything else? For context as to why that message was pinned, I had a list of things she said to me she wanted to do pinned in our DMs. Here is a more wholesome one, for example. Elfin wants to go to London and eat a lobster at a seafood restaurant. Go to Loch Fyne? I've had a lobster at Loch Fyne. It's nice. How fancy does she want? Notice, I want to travel and eat notoriously expensive animal. Money. Brother, come on. Birdie 2, Birdie, Igui, if you just touch Manoi, my poofy. It'll make me fub, con. Tealit fasser. Hyunkwa, you know, I'm gins, wat vergentau. Translated, Elfin telling me if I Localizer's note. This is Elfin telling me if I touched her pussy, she'd come real fast. Yes, I'm super sure. Just call me a good girl before you go. I'm sorry I asked that a lot. Don't actually, lol. Elfin, focus. Okay, Daddy. Also, at some point during this time, she sent me her face, which I genuinely deleted out of principle. I deleted her face out of principle, but not the smut. Out of principle, I kept the images I could weaponize as revenge porn. But not the face. It's just like my catchphrase. Women don't need faces, only holes. I'm sure he said that at some point. Wasn't all that, but kinda a guess. I just don't like showing myself self-esteem issues and whatnot. I just regretted showing myself, I guess. No, you didn't. It was all me. I just don't like myself. No, it wasn't. Just tie my hair. I asked if she had short hair, to which she responded that no, she didn't. She just ties her hair. All of this to show that we were exceptionally close. The entire point of this call-out is to demonstrate that you weren't exceptionally close, and that she is this way with other people. The exception is to what? Exceptionally close. Not really. Pretty normal, like, e-girl interaction. At one point. More than just casual friendship. That's on you, dog. More examples of horny posting. Hey, Elfin, I love you. Pussy palpitations. Okay, but call horny higigiga. This was her asking to call while I was at work, because she was horny. And yes. And yes, on multiple occasions, Elfin did masturbating call to my voice. I did not participate because I was very wary of her likely being drunk and potentially regretting it or holding it against me after the fact, even with how close we seemed at the time. I didn't want to voice rape her while she was under the influence. I will stress again that she and I called on a very regular basis during this time. It was a rather even split as to who started the call, as shown previously, meaning it was never me pressuring her to masturbate. I thought he was going to say to call me. It was never me pressuring her to masturbate to me. She was always the one to come on to me, and as exemplified above, there were multiple instances where she would be upset that I wasn't available. Go to someone else. I would always remind her of what she said and did while drunk. She had every ability to reevaluate her actions when sober, but she chose to continue to seek my attention instead. This behavior continued, and we called frequently throughout April, but all of Elfin's messages from April 9th to May 7th were deleted. I struggled to understand the logic behind this. Alright, Dr. Spock, come on. Because as you can see, if it was meant to hide certain aspects of our quote-unquote relationship, then she missed some obvious messages. And everything in this time frame was deleted, things ranging from her mental health to innocuous things like songs she wanted to cover, which is not the case later on. However, April is when we first discussed the idea of meeting in person. That might have been the main reason. As you can see here with this rather important message, it establishes that we were discussing the idea of meeting in person rather early on. I would joke about it often. So Am I confused? March 15th is the first time he learned of this person. April 13th is when they're talking about meeting. This guy is WPCing out, by the way. Notice how he says, here's the thing, Vanilla. It's pretty fast. I would describe it as her very quickly wanting to meet, it being pretty fast. He says, early on. Early implies a later. How far does this go? Well, I mean, there's not enough time for it to be anything to happen that much later, or at least an expectation of later. We'll see, though. May 29th to June 12th. During this time period, I took a trip to the UK to meet up with some old friends that I've had for over a decade. Elfin would come to know about it because I asked her if she would like to meet at some point during my trip, and she was relatively open to the idea. Relatively open. I'm kidding. I'm scared of meeting people online, Lamau. I had a really bad experience once. I really want to, though. Wait, so it's all just men? I'm stupid and wouldn't mind meeting. I literally challenged 50-year-old men to play foosball with me at the pub. But if I'm sober, I'll be a nervous wreck, that's the thing. I told Bird I'd meet him for like one day. Lamphao. Relatively open to the idea. Compared to what? These are from a group chat, as stated above. She had deleted her side of our DMs from April to May by the time I pulled the logs. She would eventually give a soft okay. It was a very non-committal response to my already Bro. Oh. It's all men. Great, said the e-girl. That's... Again, it's on you, brother. She would eventually give a soft okay. It was a very non-committal response to my already non-committal phrasing. Try to. So I was not expecting anything, nor would I hold it against her. At least try to say hi the day of so I can give you your gifts. Oh, man. Okay. Well, Ockfaces fuck, she says. She would end up backing out of meeting, which again I expected and did not hold against her, and I would end up mailing her those gifts. For those of you who have been around long enough, you might recall some specific bat plushies she mentioned wanting. Wait, bro, this doesn't answer the question. Tentative feel? Need to plan the day a little bit so I know where I'm heading off to. Ah, man, I really can't, meet up. I do not have that in me. You're gonna hate me for this. You're fine, dude, Lamau. But something else happened during this trip. Hey, man, you free to chat for a second? It's about Elfie. It's important. Shoot. Teal Deer, apparently when drunk, she would get in private voice calls with Marek and had, a few times, masturbated to positive affirmations he was giving her. No video, just audio. They had a fallout, that's why he left. I don't know how true this is. Marek could be trying to defame both you and Elfie. She deleted all her DMs with Marek out of fear of getting hacked. So there's no concrete evidence unless you take Marek's word. Man. Just audio. All the evidence of conversations and text after that have been deleted, but that was her gachikoi. Turned on by my voice drunk. She called it an infatuation, but I think that was it. Affection and lust. Welp, that is indeed... Welp, that isn't... I appear to be a cuckold. That is indeed heartbreaking, good sir. I hope you fuck her well. Why is he talking like this? I'm sorry, she just kind of did that. This is highly confidential and does not leave this chat, and I hope you take it well. Okay, he says. She masturbated to said affirmations a few times. On cam? May I see it? An e-girl? In this part of Discord? Entirely localized in your DMs? May I see it? On cam or just audio? Probably fucked all of this up really badly. He's not buying me, first of all. Second of all, fuck you, bought me. I deleted DMs because I didn't want my account getting hacked. I talked to Bird as much as I talked to you. So you weren't exceptionally close. You were as close as she gets to, any dude in her Discord. Okay, basically nothing. You guys know nothing about me? Fuck off with your bullshit. Yes, I'm not meeting him. I would fucking never. Kill yourself, actually, Marek, if you genuinely think this. Bye. Good night. Try again tomorrow. I was contacted by someone about Marek and that Elfin had supposedly masturbated in call with him. On multiple occasions, I brought it up to her. Blank shared stuff that he and Marek talked about, things involving you. I'm going to dinner reservation at 6:30, so I won't have my phone, but we should talk later tonight. Blank are being dicks because they know something is up. Bruh, I asked Merrick and he says he told him his worries about you being in the UK. And us apparently being a thing. God, can all this just stop? It's so frustrating. I'm so tired. I'm not even trying to be fucking... Oh... Does he know what that means? Am I misunderstanding? I'm not even trying to be GFE. Girlfriend experience. I'm not even trying to be fucking girlfriend experience. Is that not what that is? That's like an e-girl strategy and a hooker thing. So yes, what I said at the start is correct. She was giving him a product. Light girlfriend experience. This is her doing work. She's made it clear that this is like a job. Specifically, as in, the DMs are work. He hasn't mentioned donating any money. He's given her gifts. Is he a sub? Does he dono subs? He hasn't mentioned any finances. Apart from a gift. I have screenshots. He said a lot more than that. This isn't about GFE or my feelings. Wait, so he knows? Does it mean something else? This isn't about girlfriend experience or my feelings. You need to know people are leaking stuff you definitely don't want leaked. I'm not upset at you, to be clear, but we need to talk. I don't care. My personal matters shouldn't be discussed like this. Like, what the fuck? Why are so many people involved? It's insane. Whatever happened between me and Merrick was 100% cleared, and I apologize for everything being under the influence of alcohol. The way my embarrassment and weakness is being exploited is insane-y. Wow, I'm fucking embarrassed, man. I even moved away from alcohol. Stopped talking to a lot of you guys because I didn't want to cause issues, and it still comes back. I'm really trying here. Listen, Blank DM'd me out of the blue. Not going and looking. At the time, I found her reaction a bit odd. Thank you.
Lenny has donated £1.
For the pound.
Hello. I am disrupting the flow of the stream to making more annoying to upload to YouTube.
Motherfucker. Hey! I don't do YouTube VODs of little shit like this. You fool. You imbecile. This isn't going to be a highlight. You dingus. I'm staying away from covering unstable schizos. Like, I'll talk about Sungran, because I think I would describe him as like a stable schizo. He's not going to DMCA me or like tell people to mass flag me or something. These 6 raped individuals, I don't know about them, and I'm not going to be talking very positively about them. So probably not going up as a highlight. I forgot to include in my videos about Sungran, by the way, just to jump off topic for a second. Did you know he lied about never telling people to like, comment, and subscribe? Did you know? Did you know he used to do that all the time? And then he transitioned to saying, I don't know if this helps, but maybe if you like and comment, the devs will see it. And then he stopped doing it. And under a video he explained, he thinks people asking for it is annoying. He doesn't like it, and he knows you don't need to, because we're all so experienced in YouTube, everyone knows what to do. Why would you even say that? Why would you ever say that? If you're trying to create a persona of I don't care about attention, why would you ever explain that you're not asking for likes, comments, and subscriptions because you think it's annoying and it's your strategy, and then later try and lean on that to say you don't want attention? How can you be so fucking stupid? Anyway, back to the document. Alright. She would go on to write this apology. Hang on, I found her reaction a bit odd, because she seemed more upset at me for supposedly discussing her private affairs than with the people leaking this information. But as you will see later, the deflection of blame as well as the attempts at victimizing herself will be consistently present. She would go on to write this apology explaining her side of the story. Let's go. Before anything, I'm going to give my side of the story. Marek and I started talking in voice chat casually, and he would basically encourage the drinking. We'd both drink, but as you can tell, he drinks a lot more than I do. I've had multiple instances of being absolutely hammered because of that, and I didn't remember shit. He told me shit the next morning, much like you did, and I fucking hated it. I stopped talking to him altogether, deleted everything, etc. Told him I don't want this to go anywhere because I don't like it. He agreed. Then he tells blank and he spreads it everywhere, despite me specifically asking Marek not to. I'm pissed at fucking everyone. I know I have issues. I know I'm an alcoholic, which is exactly why I cut everyone off. I don't want people getting uncomfy of me or using my drunken state to their advantage. I get drunk alone, bow, and make sure I log out of Discord. Now. Okay, I'll log out of Discord and whatnot. I try my best, I really am trying. I'm sorry to have caused any pain, I didn't mean it. But in case you were wondering why I had distanced myself, this was why. I didn't tell blank about why exactly, because I don't need to. These are my personal issues, blah blah blah. I'm trying to get better. Do I even own a suit? I own a couple of suits, but they're way too big for me now, because I lost a lot of weight. I wrote this response, which she reacted to instantly despite the multi-hour-long gap. Elfin, like I've said every time, you don't make me uncomfy. The times where you've talked to me while drunk were a sign of great trust. That means a lot to me. You drunkenly talking to me means a lot to me. Shows you trust me. Brother, do you know what alcohol does? Number one feature of alcohol. Sorry. For the 3-year-olds watching in stream who are unaware of alcohol, number one effect, decreased inhibitions. It might undermine your judgment. I never want to seem like I'd forsake that. I hope I haven't come across as trying to take advantage of you. I think I made it pretty obvious that I do have feelings for you, but there's a reason I always told you to say the sappy stuff when you're sober. Obviously, I'm not going to hold you to what you say while drunk. Again, please let me know if I ever overstep boundaries or if it seems like I'm taking advantage of you. And regardless of my feelings, I care about you and your future. That's why I came to you as I have about this. Why I knowingly name-dropped despite being told not to. I just didn't want it to hurt you. You didn't cause me any pain. We're not a couple. I don't own you as a person. We're not a couple. I don't own you as a person. Yet. It's okay, genuinely. What I enjoyed most were the genuine heart-to-heart moments we've had while you were hammered out of your fucking mind. Where you've told me about yourself, your interest, your day, talking to you while you're struggling, etc. I love watching you struggle. I know how hard it is for you to open up, and you say pretty often that I don't really know you, so moments like that meant a lot. I value our friendship. I hope I can retain your trust and continue to help you. I don't want to leave you suffering on your own. That does pain me. But I understand that it's personal to you, and sometimes you have to do what you have to do on your own. Like drink. I'll continue to support you if you'll allow me to. I see the effort you're putting in, and I want to see you succeed and be happy. Is the support giving money? To which he responded with the following. You're an amazing person, Bert. I do trust you. Way more than I do Marek, of course. She is playing them against each other, but like that's on that. If this gets you, you deserve to get got. I'd rather a whore have his money than him. It's why I deleted every message I could in Marek's chat. I trusted him enough to not make a big deal of it, considering I was fucking drunk as shit. But whatever. I do trust you. I hope it didn't make things awkward for you. I'm very weird with people and opening up. So I'd do it while drunk and cringe while sober. It was a vicious cycle, and I decided, hey, I'm going to distance myself. So yeah, take a while to fully understand. Yada, 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 yada. Thank you so much. I appreciate your existence and for caring about someone as pathetic as me. There was more conversation afterwards, but this adequately paints the picture that I had at the time. She was being taken advantage of by Marek while drunk. More seems like she's characterizing it as him taking advantage, or rather, him using things that were said and done while she was drunk. I don't know if she's characterized what she did while drunk itself as him taking advantage, just that him spreading that was a problem. That's what I get from this. Slight, but still significant difference. Following this, things were obviously a bit awkward for some time, but I was very consistent in keeping up interactions or otherwise giving her space to match my response that I was still her friend regardless. Eventually, things reached a point where I would consider them recovered, but obviously never to the same level of intimacy. One thing to note is that I made it pretty clear in my response to the Marek situation that while I had feelings for her, I was fine putting them aside. However, she did not outright reject me. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Reject me in her response, as you can see, which is something she would claim to have done later on. Chapter 2, My Perspective. Fuck me. July 17th. Coming out of the Marek arc. Stop. Don't describe things in your life as arcs. I was not doing particularly well for obvious reasons. I wasn't literally suicidal by any means, but I was joking about it more than usual. I was joking. I wasn't literally suicidal by any means, but I was joking about it more than usual. Rather, the jokes were more in depth. My suicide jokes got more in depth. The suicide jokeometer of mental health. I said the following to Otaku, Elfin's editor. When I give away all my money, I'll reserve 700 for a Glock and some ammo. Okay. Alright. Cool. I thought it was an obvious joke, or at least something that wasn't of immediate concern. Have you been, I asked if there'd been any mention of financial stuff, and there is. I thought it was an obvious joke, or at least something that wasn't of immediate concern, since I obviously had more than $700 at the time. I was the one paying Otaku, after all. You told the man you were paying that you were going to kill yourself after you hit too low an amount of money. You created a scenario where he might believe you were going to kill yourself, leaving a paper trail of the thing that led to it being paying him. Also, you were paying for this chick's editor. How much? And what you were paying him made it obvious you had more than $700. But he took it very seriously, which I can't blame him for, and that resulted in me having to have a talk with him and Elfin. Ironically, I would be the one drunk this time. The call itself was nothing notable, but what he and Elfin discussed in private is worth sharing. Okay. Otaku. He said he would prefer a platonic relationship if it was an option between a platonic relationship or none, but it would depend on the circumstances. He said that there was something that he couldn't tell me that makes him think that you might like him in that kind of way, though. Bruh. Do you know what he's talking about? Yes. But he also is straight up asked, and I fucking... do you know what he's talking about? Yes. Hang on. Explain. I can't. I'm sorry. Oh, I told him my answer. Otaku gave me these screenshots once I told him about Elfin's antics, which I was obligated to do considering that Otaku gave me these screenshots once I told him about Elfin's antics, which I was obligated to do considering that I pay him. And I would be leaving inevitably. You were obligated to tell him about your wannabe relationship? What? He had kept it to himself up until then, since it wasn't something I needed to know. What she says here is a blatant lie. Not only did I never ask outright about the prospects of a relationship, but she is also clearly referring to our discussions during the Merrick situation, where she never gave me any sort of direct answer in her responses, which is what I was alluding to before. Thanks, bro. Who asked? A lot of things happened in the later quarter of this year, so I'll present my perspective first, then go back to specific events that were made apparent to me later on with a summary of events in chronological order at the end. Please pay attention to the dates. I won't be doing that, but fine. September is around the time I booked my flight for my second UK trip after she agreed to meet. My flight would be on December 22nd. And I touched down December 23rd. The discussion happened in a call, but here's some instances of us discussing things. Okay, if you find any stores like that have Y2K shit, let me know. Are you one to want to get your hair done? He was gonna get her hair did when they met? I always say I needed to be a Bessie. Bro, I'll go literally anywhere, you don't have to ask. You should pick stuff you want to try. In response to me listing out Michelin star restaurants I had picked out. Oh, brother. Oh, no. You take a bitch like this to Dixie's Chicken. Do you remember the place? Ideally, you don't meet with or interact with someone like this whatsoever, but do you remember the places you wanted to revisit? Chinatown places. I ate karage with beer there. That was heavenly. She wants tendies. That pic of the, yeah. I'll show you that place. Karage and big beer. Can eat there post-weeb shopping if that sounds good to you. Yeah. Because the figure shops around there. Oh, nice. Build-A-Bear by the London Eye. How is Build-A-Bear still working? How is it still going? I mainly want to make it clear that 1, this was something mutually agreed upon, not solely me forcing it, and 2, that the intention wasn't to attempt to... The intention wasn't to attempt to sleep with her. It was to succeed by any means necessary. No, it was to allow her to do things she's always wanted to do but supposedly couldn't on her own. It was me spending time with my friend. Oh, but her behavior in the month of September was exceptionally strange, and it's difficult to not feel like she was intentionally trying to lead me on at times. Where are you? I passed out after work today, been up since 2 a.m. Oh, you doing okay? How was your day? Yeah, just say I'm a good girl. Save that you're attractive for IRL. You've only seen one pic of me. Goober, first off, that's not true. Second, you're forgetting that personality matters more anyway. And her personality is stone cold alcoholic? Come on, man. What's going to happen is you're going to meet, we go out, and then you'll regret coming, and that's that. Just plan for what you'll do when you're done with me. Why would I have any regrets? What are you worried about? Genuine question. You've always kind of sidestepped the question. Myself as a whole, I guess. Showing myself IRL. One time I did, I remember this guy saying I look like a normal girl. Here's the pics I took when I got ready 2 days ago to go outside. Don't save they're gross. I don't know how to smile, so I make this weird face. Kind of look like Jeff the Killer, to be honest. You're objectively attractive. Holy fuck, I'm not. You are. You literally aren't allowed to say that until you see the person IRL. You're insane. Alright, deal. Like intense derealization. Ah, let's go. Don't know how to describe it. Example, I don't know. Maybe it's connected to alcohol withdrawal, though. Bird, sorry, I just woke up. Are you disappointed? Not at all. I'm proud. Feel like you guys, sex relty, already hate me and make fun of me behind my back, maybe. Why would you think that? I had a weird dream. You dingered me. Bro, you sexually assaulted me in my dream. It's over. It's over. What do you mean? Surely then it'd be a nightmare. No, it was a wet dream. Are you not going to ask what happened? Shit was crazy. Do you feel uncomfy asking? Nope, like it was such a funny anime scenario. I tripped and was falling on the stairs and you caught... Why is this so important to share, by the way? Why would he do this to himself? Let alone her. I tripped and was falling on the stairs and you caught me like a bodyguard and it was funny and then you fingered me, bro. Crazy. What the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Bro, why do you hate me? Gonna go out and get drunk and raped. Why? If you want me to worry about you, I do that plenty already without you putting yourself in actual dangerous situations. Lamau, I'm kidding. Blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker said loser, Lamau. The world's a fucked up place when someone is convention... Oh, man. Look at Casanova here. The world's a fucked up place when someone as conventionally attractive as you can have issues with self-image. Have some self-confidence. If you think that IRL, just rape me. What the fuck did you mean by this? If you have a rape fetish, just say so, bro. Well, duh. That's not something that can be assumed. Don't duh me, Lamau. Motherfucker cucks me on the daily and thinks I'm gonna be normal. Kill yourself. What do you mean daily? You legit said you fapped to other girls. Like, okay. I presume that is not far off what she intended to write, but I will not be saying it. As you can see, September was a rather strange month. All of her previous behaviors picked up again during this month. Okay, now there were two other major characters during this time. One was Capture and the other was Shovel Breath. Before I get into these interactions, I want to specify that Elfin is her own person and, as such, is allowed to see anyone who she wants to see, assuming they're of age. The problem comes in how she handled the situation, lying constantly, or consistently, even though it means pretty much the same thing here, to the people around her and seeing multiple people at the same time. Yeah, but she's an e-whore. That's literally her job. I'll start with Shovel Breath because his story wraps up sooner from my perspective. Shovel and I never got along. To me, he was a very sleazy guy. Look in a fucking mirror, bro. Do you not understand what you've shown us? Sleazy guy who lied about the nature of his character often, and said that he was only around to see the server crash and burn. Obviously, at this time, I was already a moderator in Elfin's server, so I had to take those types of comments somewhat seriously. Shovel raised a lot of red flags for me, and I voiced those concerns to Elfin many times over, only for her to always dismiss it out of hand. Thank you for the gift sub, Sithilis. Sure, I've had many grievances. There's now at least 2 people in there who've said they're essentially there to see you go downhill, and that mentality makes me unironically see. Who, lol? Thank you again for the gift. Thank you. Shovel Guy just today, of all people, When you weren't in call one time, he said, in short, I can only watch and relate to people who are as sad and depressed as fucked up as I am, and I'll stop supporting them if they get better. Okay? She would 100% be into that. My rating is she would 100% be into that. Come on, man. Like I said, I have many grievances with folks here. Okay, I think I'm legit completely in the dark about a lot of things. What the fuck is happening with Shovel? Why do you guys keep mentioning him as a groomer? I mean, I've said it to you before. He's calling his horror competition groomers. Oh, I've said it to you before. It's the way he acts. What Blank said obviously makes it look worse. He's very schizoid coded. So is Blank, dude. I don't trust a thing Blank says either, from what I've seen so far. Wait, can you call? 90% of the server is lying to you about one thing or another. If someone is more vocal about it, that gets you. It's all they do, then yeah. He doesn't, though. That's the thing. Compared to Capture, Shovel actually cares. Shovel and I would always butt heads. But at some point, I noticed a shift in the types of jokes he would make. He started directing... He started directing cuck jokes at me and said things in voice chat like, oh, you just don't like me because you view me as a threat. Come on, man. Come on, man. Things of that nature that just seemed a bit too on the nose. It became blatantly obvious that Elfin and Shovel were talking in DMs. This specific instance was what made me pull Elfin aside to talk about Shovel. Okay. Elfin and Shovel showed up in OpenVC at the same time, and she mentioned how he was going to stream some Russian cartoons. There was no other mention of this anywhere in the server, so it must have been in DMs. Elfin is a public figure, so the optics of this could have caused problems for her and her career. Not only that, after the Merrick situation, I was constantly concerned about someone else taking advantage of her. Taking advantage. And I always thought that Shovel was someone who did not have the best intentions for her, so I reached out. I pulled her into a call afterwards and explained how strange the whole thing looked from an outside perspective. How Shovel, this guy who rarely spoke truthfully, just so happened to be taking a college course where he just so happened to have an assignment that just so happened to feature Russian cartoons that he's privately messaging you about. It seemed questionable at best, and I was worried that Shovel was attempting to manipulate her. She seemed to understand the point I was making and unfriended him afterwards. To me, the issue was nipped in the bud. Yeah. You've been successfully handled. On to Capture. He at this point had started posting things in his containment thread, incel maxing, which was intended to be a joke, but he seemed to be posting in earnest with his woman-related issues. This is the only screenshot that I could find. What am I using you for, if not having someone I can actually care about for once? You don't need to change how you act, but at least try to have more faith, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Posted this screenshot in late September, I believe. There was one day where Capture said something along the lines of, oh, it's so frustrating when women are given the answer to all their problems, but they don't want to take it. And Elfin got exceptionally mad at this comment. I mediated, I spoke to her, told her to calm down. Then I also messaged Capture and gave him some advice. Here's a portion of that. Here we go, incel advice. Hey dude, just gonna send this to clear up any misunderstandings. My VTuber and I saw you from across the chat. No, I talked to Alphabet in VC, and it just seems a lot of things lined up to make it a mess. She thinks you're a bit too self-aware to make that vague post without realizing it would come off as being directly targeted at her, to which I told her you're just a fucking retard. The fact that you made that post after she told you to fuck off in general chat in regards to her lights and outlets not working makes it look really bad. I hope you get that. The timing was exceptionally poor. Does he get Grok to write his little cuck notes? Why is it written like this? But yeah, just keep in mind what I said. Stop vague posting shit that can be taken the wrong way. At least explicitly state that it isn't targeted. I'm glad she at least explained it to you, since she would never bother to say it to me herself, so I can actually understand now. Yeah, I can see why the timing would have made everything worse. I thought she'd know that she tells me to kill myself enough that it wouldn't make me suddenly write up a hate letter right after. To be honest, though, I'm hesitant to write an apology since she completely ignored me. Fuck off. Nothing stood out to me as an event until after December. I can't read. Nothing stood out to me as an event until early December. During this time, people were getting their account reported and suspended for making distasteful jokes. A couple of days later, Sako, on his Kazu alt account, would DM me with his pet theory about it being Capture on an alt who was reporting people's accounts. Fuck me. Fucking Christ. Jesus. The day Elfin and I got our accounts fucked for hours before we joined VC, and Blank said, I was like, Capture and Elfin, and I were saying, hell no, he's an R9K poser. And someone told him about it within the hour, because he was messaging her on Twitter, so I assumed it was him, blah, 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 blah. Schizo retard Discord shit, the same reason I don't read my Discord. Okay. I would bring this theory to her on her alt, since her main was also suspended. Lol, after a thick one, I close them. Not Dessling, eighth this gay shit. OMG, I got dejected, I hate you on G, like okay, F. When did he even do that, Lamau? Long time ago, then I banned for and he kept whining-eyed DMs, I have friends there who, like fuck off. I would then pull her into a private call to talk about this issue related to Capture. I took notes on it, but essentially, she told me what felt like a story of half-truths. Maybe she was just fucking wasted out of her mind as well, judging by the writing. It just feels weird that you couldn't tell me, but you casually told Sako. This was 3 weeks out from my flight, so I did not particularly want to start a fight so close to when we'd be meeting. Oh, fuck. I'll say it again. Oh, brother. So I let it go with the intent of bringing it up at a later date, when she was in my basement, the basement of the Airbnb I was renting in London. This is my second trip to the UK, December 22nd, January 3rd. January 22nd, 2024 to January 3rd, 2025. This is my second trip to the UK, during which I would meet Elfin in person. We hung out roughly every other day. Oh, you did actually meet. We hung out roughly every other day as she was genuinely agoraphobic to some degree, so a rest day in between was needed. Oh, man. Did you pay for her flight? I think she might have been doing some work on those on the rest days. Is good. I was half asleep and drunk. Bird is walking back alone. Lol. He's retarded and chose a faraway place. Travel there was hell. It was a normal amount of travel. Just too many fucking people. That lady who just stuck her arm an inch in front of your face was crazy. Just recollecting some activities that we did. I had booked a couple of Michelin star restaurants in London. A couple? We went shopping for anime. Which ones? Tell me. Which ones? How much fucking money did you spend? We went shopping for anime figures. I spent a lot of money on nice restaurants, but... Michelin star in London? Uh-oh. We went shopping for anime figures, went through Chinatown. We found a couple Build-A-Bear locations, but they were all exceptionally packed because it was the holidays. And I built her PC? Wait, like she came over and you'd like hung out and built a PC for her? Wait, what? Took a while. I mean, I think he was having a really hard time because he messed up the radiator or something. I fell asleep. He was having her sit there while he built a PC. It took infinite because I had to redo the radiator/fan so many times. And front mounting solo is like impossible. I don't know how you did it. Didn't show yet. Did she bring her computer parts over to have him do it? What happened? Or did he buy the parts? Or... During this trip would be the only time she gave me a straightforward rejection. Hey, just want to say I'm grateful you spend a lot on me, and give me stuff, and spend money on me, and are taking me out to stuff. But please don't do it if you have ulterior motives, not negative connotation about it. Because the way it was phrased before was, I just want you to have fun, and not, this is going to be a date. True. He went out of his way to make it seem platonic. Alf, he and I have talked at length about all this shit. Even if you guys only are ever friends, he'll be happy with you, as long as you end up with a happy life long term. If you're happy, he is happy. That's the brass tacks, simplest way you need to have from that. I'm glad. Sorry, I'm very iffy about these subjects. Not good with guys like that, so I pretend homie-like relationships so that it's easier for me to talk. This is in group chat with Elfin, another person, a mediator, and I. So Elfin was speaking directly to me here. Alright. Following our meeting, this was the next major event, February 22nd. On this day, Sako would drunkenly call me. Alright. He started off by telling me about someone in the server who was attempting to dig up Elfin's old information, and that he could potentially become a problem. He would then move on to post something from VT, the typical post where someone is claiming that Elfin does XYZ. I chose purposefully to not put it here, because he would go on to exclaim how, man, some of these things kinda line up. Naturally, I began questioning him. Eventually, we came to realize that he and I both had a similar experience with Elfin. We both knew a lot about her personal life. We both received nudes. She was overall very flirtatious and sexual with us. Yeah, she's a fucking e-girl talking about doing girlfriend experience, or not quite girlfriend experience, or whatever. We talked for a while and walked out of it with two major takeaways. Literally a whore. We know. She's talking about girlfriend experience. I gave him a list of people I suspected, those being myself, Merrick, Shovel, Capture, and Sako himself, to see if she would address it or confirm. I also wanted to know what she thought of me, why she kept me around. If she were to say she only kept me for the money, or she said something with a sentiment that she never needed me anyway, I would leave immediately. And two, we both recognized the passion, and we both agreed that it was temporary, and when his time was up, I would confront her in private and be done as well. What about yours then? Yeah, I like sex pesting you and jacking off with you. I like your company, you're funny. Sako would go on to confirm the list of people, blah blah blah. March 17th, Sako would go on and eventually be banned, and I took that as the catalyst to start talking to people. One of those people was Lil Bean. One of those people was Lil WPC. No. Because I knew that he was close friends with Capture because of a previous VRC session. VR chat? I expected to get Capture's side of the story and nothing more. However, it turned out that Lil Bean had nearly all of the necessary info for us to form a coherent full picture. Sako and the truth. Bean would tell me that he was pulled into a call with Shovel, Elfin, and Lauchlan on November 8th to help them deal with Capture, who had supposedly been harassing Elfin for months because he wanted to be unbanned from the server. Heil Hitler, Bean, we need to talk. Okay. Is anyone hearing you? She posted a bunch of stuff. He's mad. If he thinks Bean knows anything, he will go fucking insane. You're his punching bag in his head. I'll try to find it. Hello, not too often. Almost always him bitching. He think I dislike Elf, I think. It's through a launcher and has a code. Lethal packs on just zips. Blah, blah, blah. He would come to find that what he was told was largely a lie to obfuscate the true nature of the situation when he eventually spoke to Capture. Alright, bro, what the problem now? I guess I literally have no reason to hide it anymore. Cigarette? But I still feel an obligation to, for some reason, even though they don't deserve it. Maybe I'm just a nice guy, but I need this shit off my mind. So, it's about Elf, and it's a somewhat longish story, alright? Around August and the start of September, me and her were really close, like we entered key Trollface. He would call in DMs all the time. Watch movies, play games, whatnot, but eventually turned into something more. I started to really like her. She would send stuff, etc. And eventually we were like e-dating, right? And I actually loved her by the end of it. So hence where the emotion comes from for what follows. These people are raped by anime. Anime people, like anime watchers, talk like this. You were raised by a screen. We all talk about Cocomelon damage. This is what happens when you learn how to be a person from watching anime. One day, literally a switch flipped, and all of it disappeared, and she went complete. I was ready to confess to her. Is he going to say that next? Without saying anything to me or explain why over the span of 2 to 3 weeks. What's the phrase they use? But she would act normal in the server and brush it off. It was really fucked. I was there on the verge of love after a month plus of being super close and eventually relationship. And everything was, honest and going by the books. And things were going super well, and then she just switches off out of nowhere, so I'm obviously pretty upset, and I tell her this regularly, and she continues to brush it off, or make excuses, but never acknowledges anything head on, so I'm getting pure AIDS for almost a month until I finally managed to get... Fucking Christ, I'm not reading it. Yeah, I did the same things with Shovel, blah blah blah. She deleted her main account around then to hide all the evidence, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it'd be bad for business to have all this out there, I guess. People don't want it. People don't want their hoard to be too visibly used. They know it's happening, but they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. Alright? Being assessed that what Capture was saying had to be somewhat true, because it would be extremely unlikely for him to be lying, and also pick the same two characters, those being Shovelbreath and Lauchlan. Capture would go on to say how he, Shovelbreath, and Lauchlan in September all came to the realization that Elfin had sexted and I sent nudes to all three of them while maintaining the guise of exclusivity. Never outright saying that we were dating, but insinuating that she was talking to no one else. Insinuating. Come on. Come on. That each one of them was somehow special or different than the rest. This hooker said I was special. Come on. Come on, man! Capture did not take this well and would confront Elfin in stream chat while in call with Shovel and Lauchlin to cross-reference what Elfin was saying. And at this point, Elfin attempts to manipulate him very blatantly. Okay, Shovel. Bro, Loch had a GF and he asked me for that shit. He told me after and I was fucking devastated. I said, I can't do this, man. I never wanted to. I was stupid and drunk, dude. And he was sad after. I said I'm not into poly shit. Yeah, because you just fucking move on to your next entertainment toy after you drop the last guy. WTF, who's next? I'm sorry, no. I was never into them at all. They don't even know my real name or face, no. He's gonna be like, I showed my face. Or she showed her face. No, I legit had to remove my account and stop the... Well, they met, so... Had to remove my account and stop DMs altogether, use and discard people and fucking throw them away to go to the next guy. I'm taking fucking... It's called dating, okay? But in this case, it's called being a literal whore. I'm taking fucking precautions, bro. Bro, fuck yourself. I legit never told them anything about me. You were the only one who knew. Actually, fuck off, dude. Like... Capture, unironically, Shovel and Lauch happened. I was drunk both times, like fucking wasted, and I let them know every single time. The fact they kept going and then apologized later, like, wow. So you know you groom, but then you're like complaining about me? I'm done with you fucks. Holy fucking shit, I can't take it anymore, dude. It's fucking crazy. You, call them. Every time I tried to get away, you come on to them and flirt with them. They tried to get you to stop. So I know each time I was talking about something else. Ask Lauch to share his messages. He came out with blah, 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 blah. Sure, she's a whore. That's her profession. She's whoring out. Yes. I'm not understanding the problem. I'm not understanding how you don't know what you're getting into when you're paying for attention from this woman. This is what you bought. This is what you purchased. Holy fucking shit. Guy is such a liar. Oh my god. He even apologized. Blah, 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 blah. You don't know. I deleted because I wanted to leave it behind. She claimed she started feeling uncomfortable after she realized Shovel masturbated in voice chat with her. You know nothing about me, Capture. Unironically, nothing about me. I know enough. You treat enough people like shit, you become one. I know what I've done is wrong, but I've never treated people like shit. You were full of it. When I came on to you, it was genuine, and I even trusted you with my face. Never treat people like whores. Shit. Horse shit! Okay. None of them know my name or identity. Ask them. Go on. Sure, they don't know shit about me, and neither do I, right? And you do. Do you wonder why? Yes, you do. You know my fucking name. I'm not. I'm trying to be better. It's why I deleted everything. That's why I got a new account. It's too late, man. It's just an alcoholic whore. Is that all it is after all this reading? I mean, it has been from the start, but I was expecting... There's funny stuff, so it's worth reading just for that, but... 27-year-old men talking to a drunk girl, and they're the victims. I don't see a victim here. I don't see any victim yet. She would then be added to their group chat, and as Capture described it, do a 180 and try to play the victim after failing in her attempts to gaslight him. Whatever happened with Shovel was my fault. I engaged it. I shouldn't have talked to him about philosophy or my life or anything. Wherever it went was bad, and I didn't like it, and I got uncomfy, but it was my own fault for engaging with anyone like that in the first... Yeah, okay. Whorebabble. I thought Shovel was a safe space. A safe space to jerk off. You talked about philosophy, so you jerk it in call. Are you fucking with me? Okay. Continue to do things when you're sober, and that's why she's sorry. Chapter 4, the document. Let's go. There's nothing fun in that. So I'm skipping through it. Up until Sako told me of his relationship with Elfin, I had only my suspicions, and despite Elfin being an objectively terrible liar, who convinced you to fall in love with her and believe you were going to have a relationship. Okay. Great. I am not one to confront and accuse without a smoking gun, which Sako graciously gave to me. When he confirmed the list of people, I began to realize that this can no longer be handled privately. She is a danger to herself and the danger to herself, sure, with the alcohol, but to herself and those around her. I then began collecting and organizing information on Elfin's behavior with the intention of posting it in her Discord server, so that those most likely to be targeted were aware. The necessity of making this public knowledge became even more apparent after I talked to Bean, and he told me of Elfin's behavior with Shovel. Lauchlan, and capture, and just how manipulative she was capable of being. Colorless Screen says, okay, lots to go through, so feel free to ask questions. First off, I'm just going to say Sako's entire motivation is to remain clung to Elf as tightly as possible. She knows what you're doing and has for a bit now because he fucking told her to try to get back in her good graces. He gave Elfin the logs for our DMs, and as a result of that, Elfin began trying to mitigate the damage by racing to talk to people before I could. Based off a partial list I had given to Sako, Sako would also go out of his way to purposefully try to muddy the waters on his way out the door. Cockfight! 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 Hey, what face pictures of Elfin did Bird send you? The ones you sent me, so the ones he sent you. For example, Sako had sent Elfin's face unprompted to another server member, then would try to pin the blame on me. I deleted the face, though. I only kept the nudes. Alright. The person this was sent to tried being cheeky with a response, but it reads horribly. Sako would then send this to Elfin, stating that I was the one who sent her face to this person. This is why people believe that I'm going around sending people pics of Elfin. I have her nudes, by the way. This is not the case. I only ever traded images with Sako himself at his request. Since we're going down this path anyway, wanna trade pics is how he phrased it. Sorry, and the only images you had, and didn't delete at her request, were her the closest thing possible to nude. Sounds like you are guilty of distributing revenge porn, brother. Sounds like you might be on the hook for revenge porn, depending on where you live. Very stupid to tell us all this. In doing so, I would come to realize Elfin actually sends the same pictures to multiple people, which will be relevant later. I don't know if that protects you. Sako would... If he deleted everything except the nearly nude photos, and he traded pics with Sako, what does that mean the pictures he sent Sako were? Sako would go on to wipe his DMs with me, so I don't have the messages to show him. Even after this person clarified who was responsible to Elfin in DMs, this rumor is still circulating. Okay, if I told you everything, I don't think you'd like Bird very much. I have no power, though. I'm a streamer. He's got everything on me. I can't do much but either kill myself or have someone come and kill me once I'm doxxed. Curious, though. Was it... if you're an e-whore, probably. If your job is messing with really mentally ill men to extract as much money from them as possible because they're pathetic, actually, yeah, you probably will get killed by one of them. At some point. I think you just have to accept you're going to be skinned alive and some incel is going to wear you. Like a suit. That's like... They tell you when you sign up to Twitch, right? Which means that she is purposefully omitting information because it paints me in a worse light and benefits her narrative. She is also telling different stories to different people, even third parties that attempted to mediate the situation, further obfuscating the truth. She was definitely trying to make you out to be an unhinged psycho, blah blah blah. The most egregious sociopathic behavior can be seen in Bean's last conversation with Elfin. Here are some highlights, okay? My biggest mistake was talking and trusting people I'd talk to every day in voice chat. I mean, they appear to have distributed your nudes amongst themselves, so... I don't see them as fans, I saw you guys as friends. I know now I never should have thought that. Of course none of you were my friends. I'm just retarded for even thinking that. I genuinely feel so betrayed. Blah, blah, blah. Quit the bullshit. Quit the bullshit. I read through all 16,000 messages between you and Bird. That is intense cuck behavior. From March to December, it took me 7 hours. It took me 7 hours, but I was able to prove every statement Bird has told me and disprove all the main things you have tried to say. I read 16,000 messages over the course of 7 hours and figured out you're a slut. What are you doing? I know the story you are telling people, and I can point out every hole in your story. Your story has so many blatant contradictions, of course I'm not on your side. Okay? Past the victimization of herself, notice her focus on age, and how she implies that since she isn't an old celebrity, she can't abuse her position of power as a streamer. A logical fallacy. One of the linchpins of her argument is that she had rejected me on multiple occasions, however she consistently uses this singular example. Your Honor, she only said no once. Hey, I just want to say I'm grateful you... Yeah. Notice how this is dated in December, meaning that it does not excuse any of her behavior before December. That may seem obvious to you. What? But Elfin would go on to deny causality itself in this conversation. How does it matter what happened if there's a straight rejection? Are you stupid? Okay, what is the straight rejection? If that is the one during December, then your argument makes no sense because everything happened before December, obviously. Okay. Another instance where she uses the rejection in December to try and put blame on me for something that occurred in December. Oh, she does make a chronological mistake here. She does make a chronological mistake here. Alright. Fine. But, who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Bean pressures her to answer the December conundrum again. Okay. I do read chat. When I have to read documents, I read the chat a bit less, okay? Blah, blah, blah. Elf make bird manager by name, low-key. Lie, my manager? He didn't want to be. He said he would take it if I... Hang on, what's going on? Point 7. Her saying she doesn't like me as her manager is demonstrably false. Let's go then. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Elf make bird manager by name, low-key. Lie, my manager? He didn't want to be. He said he would take it if I asked you, do it or I'll quit. He already is technically my manager. Name, role. Let me ask him. Yes. He said he'll take the name. He just didn't want to cause drama. Yep, I know. He needed a little push, so I gave him one. He said, I'm going to leave and stop editing your shit if you don't make bird manager. Like, okay, sure, it's my decision when I'm getting fucking blackmailed. GG. Wait. She was perfectly fine with me taking the title. Read the first set of messages. Her editor, who is on the payroll of Bird, told her, make him the manager officially or I'll quit. And then she did it. And then she okayed it. He's not going to mention that part? Do it or I'll quit. Somewhat jokingly, I presume, but this guy's on the payroll of Bird. So, as well, fuck me. He said, I'm going to leave and stop editing your shit if you don't make Bird manager. Like, okay, sure. Yeah, he did! Otaku's threat of quitting was obviously a joke. Maybe. But when this is a guy on your payroll, reads a bit different when you're aware of that, right? As I said before, the deflection of blame as well as the attempts at victimizing herself are consistently present. Yeah. Bird is going to give the logs, send them over. She'll go on to ask for the logs a third time and also insinuate that I'm deleting messages, which is clearly projection. She obviously wants the logs so she can alter or otherwise cherry-pick messages of her own accord. There's no point going through the logs since you made a bad faith argument. This is lame. When Bean brings up how she never seemed to shut down anything sexual, she deflects and actually makes herself look worse. Notice how she says she's had 50 people say they come to her. Okay, let's go. Tim, look. Okay, of course. Yeah, I figured. How much do you think she weighs? It's my first thought when I see the hands now. I've been conditioned. Alright. Notice how she says she's had 50 people say they come to her, and that she didn't cut any of them off. She wouldn't have viewership if she did. She would then be implying in this context that she was as close to those 50 people as me. Not exactly a good look. It's the expected. It's the expected. She then pivots her argument to differentiate between sexual and romantic efforts. Okay. She's dealing with fucking schizo simp marks. Another bad faith argument related to age. Okay, summary of events. Let's go here. What are you trying to tell me with all of this shit? Summarize. So, to make it more coherent, allow me to summarize the events in chronological order. Sometime in September, Shovel, Lachlan, and Capture all come to realize that they've had similar experiences with Elfin, where she would send them nudes and otherwise flirt with them. Capture would then confront Elfin in September with Shovel and Lachlan and call to cross-reference what she was saying. She attempted to gaslight Capture into believing that it was all done under the influence of alcohol. Probably was. She sounds like an alcoholic. And that Lachlan and Shovel knowingly tried to groom her. She would then be added to the group chat and swap from attempting to gaslight Capture to playing victim or otherwise attempting to accept blame. Notably, she admitted to continuing the inappropriate behavior while sober, despite... Is it inappropriate? Alright. In the months following this, Capture would be kicked from that group chat. He was banned early October. Alpha managed to convince Shovel and Lachlan to help her with the harassment from Capture. This is when Bean was brought in under false pretenses. Bean assumed that Shovel and Lachlan were both third parties, like him, who just happened to be helping Elfin deal with this issue. It will not be until early January that he would come to realize that Shovel, Elfin, and Capture were all directly related in terms of their entanglement with Elfin and each other. Beam would confront Elfin about the truth on January 16th, where she seemed to have learned a lesson from the Capture doc scare and understood that need for streamer-viewer distance. Yeah, I'm sure she learned a big lesson from you guys. True. Notably, Sako told me that the sexting started around mid-January, indicating that she lied in some capacity or otherwise did not learn any lesson. The fact that she continued the behavior at all with Sako after January just means that she lied to Bean. She lied to Bean? She lied to Bean! And before all of that, I was seemingly the first to be implicated in April going into May, which is when Marek seemed to have started and that ended in June. Closing... That is actually everything. No, I understand what happened. It's fucking nothing. When I found out the true nature of this situation, I realized it could no longer be handled privately. I needed to be publicly humiliated as a cuckold to an e-girl. The cycle would continue almost certainly, and someone is going to end up getting hurt. It is inevitable. There is no way to guarantee that she won't continue this behavior. She's shown previously that even in the wake of real tangible consequences, she will still continue. So the only option is to make it public knowledge so you, her audience, can make an informed... Her audience now just knows there's a chance. So she's going to make a lot of money because of this. Can make an informed decision on how you wish to proceed with supporting and interacting with Elfin Psyop. Again... Elfin Psyop is dating none of you. Guys, I need you to know, the E-slut isn't actually your girlfriend. Careful. She wasn't dating any of us either. She's allowed to do what she wants privately. However, allowing her to continue to lie to people, to lie about people, to predate on her audience while being in her position as a streamer, would be immoral. She is quick to throw anyone under the bus when she no longer needs them, even those she was most fond of. She wasn't most fond of you, bro. Come on. People she supposedly trusted, she paints them in the worst light with slanderous accusations, assassinates their characters, accuses them of being groomers. It is egregious that she claims that people betrayed her trust when she's willing to blatantly lie shamelessly to escape even a wisp of potential consequence. I hope I managed to convey my perspective adequately. If you did, stop using the internet. I hope that even if you don't agree, you can at least understand why this became necessary. Not really. Anyway, this chick streamed about this, apparently. This is her stream. Starting soon. How long is the intro? Okay. This is the girl who cucked them all. Here it comes.
Okay. Hello?
What? Everything I cover. Everything I cover. Everything I ever cover ever. Everything I ever cover ever.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Maya Chavez.
Maya Chavez, PhD, has become a member. Just clearing the notification. 8-month gang. Why is it always a 500-page doc?
I think that was mercifully short compared to how long it could be. Right? Right?
Sorry, haven't done this in a while. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's me, Elfin. Elfin Psyoff. Doc Trevor first recorded our cover? Yeah. I need to record my cover.
This isn't really listenable to me.
Anyways, I am in a...
All these guys! Just be straight up, you want to fuck a Rugrat.
Holy fuck, chat is fast. I am currently in a Spider-Man...
Elfin Psyop Pickles. Thank you very much for the sub, Scappy.
Sorry for the mustache situation where I have to address some things despite being absolutely ironic at all times. I have to get serious.
How does the redheaded... What is the redheaded Rugrat kid called? What is his name? The nerd with the glasses. Why am I thinking of him when I hear it? Chucky. Let's hear what his voice is like.
HBD.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can't do it. I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog. Serious. So, I'd like to start this. How do I start it?
I think Chucky sounds a bit more mature than her, to be honest.
It's just so much. But I want to say one thing, which I'm sure you guys have noticed if you read the doc. No, actually, I should start out by saying that there's a doc written about me by my Discord Discord moderator has written a document of 51 pages about yours truly. I don't want to sound stupid or weird, so I'm trying to like phrase it properly. There was a doc written about...
I don't want to sound stupid or weird. I just want to sound like a child. Creeps me out, man. Don't like it.
And it basically is kind of an expose on me, on the things that I've done over the past year.
Thank you.
So, I'm here to address that. And also, I would like to say, most
Choo-choo.
of the TLDRs so far have been so fucking disgustingly wrong. The TLDRs on Twitter that I'm seeing, that it's so easy to disprove. So normally it's like, hey, don't make a stream and don't stream shit and don't talk about it. But it's so easy to disprove all of this that I have to. Okay? I really...
What is this link?
After that, the seafloor split open and swallowed the Caribbean. Earthquakes ravaged the west coast of America, and goblins were still really scary. Ew, I don't like them. I don't like goblins.
I don't like goblins either.
Have to, because you guys already call it a nothing burger, but I really want to hammer in the fact, the amount of retardation that happened behind the scenes, and what is happening right.
It's not meant to be real? What the fuck do you mean? The noise is a real noise, and I hate it.
Now, so, here, I made a bullet point. I made bullet points. Okay, I made bullet points. So, let me see. Okay. So, I will start off by saying, I'm not denying that I talk to people. I literally did talk.
To you, does she not sound like this? What the fuck are you talking about?
To people. I talked to people that were in my Discord, actually, and we were really close friends. And this was over the past full year. None of the guys that I've talked to were overlapping or at the same time. None of them! Literally fucking none of them! And can you believe this guy for telling people that I, quote-unquote, e-dated people at the same time? He has shown no proof, no evidence, nothing. And people...
No, I think it's just real. No, I believe it's real. I just think it doesn't matter.
As much as I already knew that people on the internet just love flinging shit around, this just kind of proved to me that people are really retarded sometimes. But it's fine because a lot of people were smart and they were questioning what was happening. None of the people that I talked to were fucking overlapping. I need to hammer this point down. None of them were overlapping at all. None of them e-dated me. I pretty much, there's proof, by the way, which I'll be providing within the stream.
Why do people say this was really good?
There's proof of one of the guys literally admitting, hey, Elfin told me she doesn't want anything more. Elfin told me she's not.
Okay.
She doesn't want to take this anywhere further. And I just went.
It's just more of like the dog. People are like, yo, the response is fucking based. It's not. It's really not. It's really
not. I don't know how
not.
to paste this. I'm sorry. I'm not really good with dramas. But I just, yeah. So essentially, the whole document was to basically prove that Elfin is a predator who groomed people at the same time, by the way. And these people have no sense of agency. They just fell for the psyop. But them to, sorry if I sound aggressive. I've just been all over the place these past 2 months. It's been a wild ride. It's been wild. I was threatened with a lot of things, so I'm just being a bit aggressive because it's finally out and I can finally just tell people. So I just want to, all the guys, all quote unquote, all the guys that I talked to were over a whole year, by the way, and most of them were months after.
I'm good. We're not watching the response. What we will watch is a little bit of an Easter treat. What we will watch instead is an Easter treat. Apparently I missed this. Cobes cooked up something spicy. I'm horrified by the title. Salmonella is mentioned. Now that doesn't look like ground chicken to me, but I presume it will be involved.
We're gonna make some delicious.
Hot TV says it's so hard to take these people seriously when they're using the baby voice. Yeah. Address it. Don't address it. Don't baby voice address it. Please, for the love of God. I don't want to have some faith in humanity.
I don't have any fucking god. Oh, make sure the camera's still going. Okay, I'm a little bit drunk. Don't mind me, but like.
Tim, why don't you do a baby voice? I put on a fake adult man voice that's not meant to be real because I want an audience that's attracted to adult men, not babies.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna make some fucking dank ass meat goodness.
That's the intention behind this constructed voice.
Got our pan. We got our gas stove. I don't have any bread to make this into a complete sandwich, but I digress.
Look, Hexathian is gay and definitely has some sort of hobbit treasure. You've seen him, probably. He hasn't given me any money yet, but one day I will have, like, a diamond goblet.
80% lean, 20% fat. Yeah, this is the good stuff.
The reason I don't have the like super deep voice on stream anymore is because I don't want to be like right up to the mic. Basically, the reason I'm not like video voice all the time is because I'm lazy. And also because when you're talking like this all the time, it strains your voice a lot more. And there was a period where I was doing 8-hour streams every day, and you can't really do this without hurting a lot afterwards. Like if you do that all the time.
A little bit tipsy, but
I did it a pretty long time, but you'll also notice that like for a long time I had the microphone like right here, and the camera it was like this kind of perspective.
Beef, goodness.
Yeah, it's my sandwich making voice, exactly.
Put that in the pan. Now we're gonna hit that.
Great.
Hold on.
Is he gonna do it rare? You gotta cook. If it's ground beef, you gotta cook it all the way through, brother.
See that beef right here? If you want to turn that on, still on to a decent heat.
Decent heat.
Onion powder, cilantro, and black pepper.
Alright. Yep. For those who don't know, I believe those are just simply all the seasonings he has. I was researching his sandwiches. That's what he uses every time.
Let's season one side of it. All kinds of dankness to this, so it's hitting that, you know. That's a good
I spoiled a bit.
The
Oh
cheese
god.
I'm using is pepper jack, habanero, jalapenos, Sargento, Serenghetto.
Serenghetto. It's not rare, it's legendary. Oh.
Keep that butter on hand, you might never know when you may need it. So like, there it is. I want to cook that on the gas stove.
Oh. Every time he does that, I expect an explosion.
Oh, look at that. Cobra's cooking some beef.
I'd let him cook for me. I wouldn't eat it though. I'd take pictures of it.
Seasoning on that, the butter.
And bring it home.
Gonna be delicious. I got this bacon that I want to cook in all the grease of the meats that I cooked before it. This is like...
Right. This is probably the most unique cooking video perspective I've ever seen.
Seriously good bacon too. It's like cherry wood smoked thick cut bacon from Black Label. The butter's starting to melt. All the seeds.
You didn't want to do that first? Am I crazy?
I want to flip it when that bottom side gets a nice crust.
Is he gonna eventually add enough butter that he can confit the burger?
We're gonna Bud Light lime. Bud Light lime.
Oh no.
Oh shit. A little bit of beer.
Every time, man.
A little bit of beer in there with that melted butter.
POV, you are the bugs.
Oh, that's gonna give it a little tang. I poured this, just a little bit of this into there. Yes, sir. Because when that home's a crust.
Make a reduction with the beer and pour it on the burger.
That's gonna be solid. If it falls apart, that's all good. I don't give a damn if it falls apart. Oh, look, another Cobra video. This is gonna be entertaining. Sure thing, bud. And that beer butter grease. It's gonna cook up, and we're gonna use that grease for the beef.
Wait, are you not using it for the beef right now?
Kind of push down, make sure it don't come apart. We're just trying to find
Yeah, in the water. He needs it to not break apart.
Recipe,
I see. I see. Ghost Hole. It's his Easter dinner. I got takeout. I didn't cook, so we're gonna cook for Easter vicariously through Cobes.
Gonna be a fan of my shit. That's fine. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off in my newest video. Don't care.
Oh! Ah!
Plenty of beer. Just a little splash to give you a kick, you know.
A kick.
Take out Jack Daniel's honey barbecue sauce.
Gotcha. Wonder where he found that. Thumb, man. He still has all the herbs.
Yeah,
He is just spreading meat juice everywhere.
right there. And we'll be flipping it here. Oh shit.
Oh.
Cobra. Okay, let's go. Peppered horse.
I don't find the idea of the Japanese Hamburg steak very appealing. It's not disgusting, but I would absolutely take it in a heartbeat over this.
Spanish. See that? That is delightful. And for a little bit on top. Just like that. I am gonna flip it and grill all that horseradish and everything in there. Just chilling, doing my thing, make some grub. All the grease that I make from this is gonna go into the bacon for the burger patty.
Oh. Oh.
Yeehaw, hang on. I dropped the phone. I just threw a little sprinkle, maybe a little seasoning, onion powder, garlic salt.
I'm not doing this one. I need to do filler content until June. Filler content until June 23rd. So that you might get another cooking video of some weird shit that's funny. It's not going to be this one. I'll tell you that fucking much. I'll tell you that fucking much. My G.
Cilantro. We should probably hit it with some of the Jack Daniels barbecue sauce.
Some more. Okay. I'm alright, tiny metaphorically. Weather's not great.
Oh, that's sexy. Just gonna put in grease in the pan.
Can you show that on Twitch? That's like gore at this point.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let it cook and do its thing, and like all the flavors.
Why till June? Because PG Purple, I have multiple strikes of different kinds on my YouTube channel, and the last of them is gone June 22nd.
Cook into the beef. They want to cook the bacon and.
John being a good boy until then.
Make it fit the pan, do our thing. Put it on top of the burger, and layer it with cheese, bacon, and cheese. And microwave it so the cheese gets nice and melted.
Gotcha. It cracked in half. It cracked in half, regardless of his attempts.
Go to flip. A little shaky at first, but we got it flipped. Maybe I'm a crazy bastard. What's the one in Frank's Red Hot?
Do I have anything planned for June? Not really. I've just got a bunch of highlight clips that are queued up to go up. But you know, the main channel videos will be a bit harsher and spicier again after that point. Really is what the change will be.
Buffalo sauce, my favorite hot sauce.
Until I get in trouble again, and then I'll be a good boy for a while.
No sponsor.
I learned nothing from Google.
Throw a little bit on top for some heat. See it, it's good sometimes it's stupid.
What if he ends up making like a really sick barbecue glaze in the bottom of that pan?
Give it a flip. Grill that flavor into the burger. That burger's just about.
Because I mean, at this point, he has reduced the beer.
Now that fucking hot sauce is gonna be like super dank, you know, flavors, everything. Let's take our Serenghetto pepper jack jalapeno habanero cheese.
Animal watching on the Serenghetto.
And we're gonna put it on top of said burger meats. Cooking some dankness, man. Not gonna lie.
His little
Season's been
finger movements. I don't
a little
like
rough
it.
for you, boy.
It's almost like a real person. It's like when you look at a chimp in the zoo, and it's uncanny.
You know how it goes, man. You lie to the government, it's treason, but they lie to you on tax season. And they're like, yo, ass, you're supposed to take it.
Oh, he's got it. Libertarian Cope's coming out.
Pepper jack, habanero jalapeno cheese. on top. Yeah, Sargento makes really good cheese. The pepper jack jalapeno habanero cheese is the business. Let's put the plate down. Oh, we got this. Throw some of the pan grease on top.
Ah! Yeah, just filtering all the grease out, leaving behind anything that could anyway constitute a sauce, and just pouring the grease onto it.
Throw that chunk of butter in there. Does that thing have enough grease in it? Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
I hit it with that Bud Light lime. Enough of that nonsense. Cherrywood thick cut bacon from Black Label. Fantastic.
Black Label.
Oh look. That's actually
Oh my god! Food safety! Food safety!
And we're going
Just gonna wipe his ass with a rasher of bacon real quick.
Put them in the pan with all the flavoring.
Don't lick your
all that
fingers.
beef, all that
I have a
grease.
horrible feeling.
Oh, yes.
He's touching his... He's like stroking off the bacon and then rubbing his face with his
Cook
hands.
this bacon up. Nice and chewy. Fully cooked. It's going to be placed on top of here with more of that cheese. This cheese to be exact.
Oh god.
Cobra's foot axe that don't wash.
Boiled bacon.
Oh. King Cobra. What's up? Look, okay, I get the point. You're fucking drinking beer and whatever else. So it's like... I don't gotta be like anyone, man. I'm gonna take these bacon strips and flip it.
It's a stew. It's like the start of one of those never-ending stews that you just keep adding stuff to. The bacon looks like intestines, man.
Yeah, my trusty spatula. I like my bacon a little chewy. Right now,
Have you ever had it any other way? The thing, though, a little chewy.
Beef grease. Beef grease from that monster. Oh, look at that.
There's like... To me, it's more like a crispy to tender spectrum. Chewy?
People are like, oh, Cobra's too stupid to wipe his own ass. I'm like, really? You're too stupid to leave Cobra alone. Oh, look at that bacon. Look at that beer. Just trying to make sure that the bacon gets cooked in the sauce.
At this point, it doesn't matter. It's all over. It's all over you.
Provided for it. Henceforth, all that beef grease. Oh, you little shit. Oh, it doesn't want to flip. That's alright. Look at that bacon. Oh, that is sexy. King Cobra gets a lot of crap for his cooking videos, for being gross, unhealthy, and whatever. And I'm like, no one's...
I think many people are saying, "Oh my God, oh, it's so unhealthy." I don't think that's. Well, I mean, okay. To be fair, he's got me. Unhealthy, as in literally not food safe. But no one's like it's too greasy. It's for your body. Okay.
Beer, butter. Oh, that's delicious.
Not worried about cholesterol here.
I can fuck with crispy bacon. But I prefer my bacon to be a little bit chewier, you know. Like, to me, bacon should be...
Indeed, the unsanitary, unhealthy distinction. Yes, yes.
Have a little bit of crispiness on the edge. It's got a little bit of crispiness on the edge. I'm not gonna bitch. I don't have
gets a lot of
hamburger
crap,
buns.
but at least he eats
But
all
they
of it.
didn't use, like,
Yeah,
Texas toast or whatever, you know, but fucking, I got some beef in my fridge, I got some bacon in my fridge, you know what I'm saying, like, throw it together and
Are we gonna see some 4-minute blasts?
splash.
Perhaps. That's not sizzling. That's not evaporation and bubbling. That is screaming.
Pour a splash in there and be like, that's something for the homies. It's a bit crispy on the other side, you know, the bacon's looking good. I'm watching it like a bloody hawk. Take this hot iron skillet, good shit, yeah, and I'm going to plate the bacon.
He specifically sounded like a brown Londoner just then.
Onto our beef.
That was a simultaneous British and racial impression.
And I'm like, you know what, YouTube? I don't got a bun for it.
But
I'm gonna throw some ingredients on it. Just cause it's food and it's something to eat. And like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Serenghetto, pepper jack, jalapeno, habanero cheese.
Gotcha.
Yeah, throw it
One.
on there. You know, I'm not gonna do shit, but okay, yeah, the last 2 sections were falling apart. Well,
No idea.
Like that, melt the cheese all over it, give it
Nice.
2 to 4 minutes.
It did not for even 1 second focus
in
anywhere on the
news
screen.
station. Two minutes. All it does is use a microwave. It was like, shut up.
I can show you an example probably if you give me a second. Hang on. It's keto friendly. I think we're getting sugar from his hands. Let's take a peep. There is a guy who I think speaks how I was trying to explain Cobra was speaking. I just need to scroll through my subscriptions, and we'll get there. He's not showing up. No, it's not Dime Drops. Did they get him? Is he gone? Where is he? Here he is. Let's see if this bloke speaks how I thought he spoke. We're so far away from Cobra sounding like that you're not going to remember what Cobra sounded like when he said, Bloody. I love you.
Hello people, it's Michael here. I'm out and about in Hackney this morning to try a new breakfast spot that I've seen. It's called Franz.
Bloody, blah blah, whatever he said.
Shut the fuck up. You don't like Cobra's cooking style, then like, fuck off. Just start to drip cheese. Go down to the very end until it starts doing that right there on the...
Is the lens just greased up?
Oh shit, look out.
Ticket for Japan already paid for. With mobile game money. I let you off for a week. This week I'll definitely be doing another sponsorship, probably on Thursday. Am I really American? Yes. Exclusively, I don't have dual citizenship. I am just American. But I live in the UK.
Let that cool off.
The next day.
Check out this burger, YouTube. I want to try it real quick.
Ah!
Oh, look at grease on the side of the plate.
Ah! The drip, dude!
Look at grease on the side of the plate.
Oh, it was just like a little crust, a crumb.
That burger slaps. That burger slaps real good. That's a good burger food hack, YouTube.
Thank you for snipping that together, Boglim Chronicles, and that's gonna be all for tonight. What a terrible stream. I believe we have a bit of WPC to catch up on tomorrow, but then we'll fuck around with some other fun stuff. Ladies and gents, thanks for joining me. Thanks for your viewership, companionship, incredible generosity. Until my sauce. Until next time, which is tomorrow. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the creatures of the Serengeti bite.